Ms. Tucker, this is your complaint. You're suing the defendant for filing a false restraining order against you, property, and false arrest.
Yes.
So let's put into context what I know about this case. You have a child.
Yes.
And you had no place to live, so you moved in with Miss Williams, who was a friend of yours, and you were going to pay her $200 a month for you and your daughter to live. And you moved in with her in April of this year. Then somehow you found out that Miss Williams was living in subsidized housing and only paying herself $87 a month.
Yes.
So she was sort of making a profit on you.
Yes.
And according to what I read, you said, well, you really weren't angry with her, just annoyed that she lied to you.
Yes.
And you decided to move out
Yes.
in May,
Yes.
and you had already given her $100 towards May's rent.
Yes.
And you called her and told her that you were going to move out. Where did you call her from?
I texted her and I said, you know, all of this stuff is going on. I got accepted into an apartment anyway. I just don't even need to be here.
How much was the rent in that apartment?
I believe $675.
And you were working,
Yes.
and you could afford that.
Yes.
Perfect. And according to you, she got angry, and did you apply for a restraining order?
There was a temporary one. I didn't.
When did you get a temporary restraining order?
This was in the beginning of May.
Tell me why you got a temporary restraining order.
I was getting threatening text messages from her.
Do you have any of those?
I do not have the threatening text messages on me.
Well, you were coming to court today. Where did you think you were going?
Right, the problem was I had switched my phone over, so I don't have those text messages from her.
Well, what text messages do you have?
The text messages I do have is the messages of me dropping her stuff off and her receiving everything.
Just a second, I'm not there yet.
Okay.
Why did you seek a restraining order? Just because she was sending you threatening messages?
Yes, because
Was she living at the apartment when she was sending you those?
At that point when she was sending the messages, she wasn't in the house for about a week and a half. I was actually begging her to give me the money unless she had to go because I have 2 kids myself. I have a 6-year-old and a 1-year-old, so I couldn't take care. I was technically taking care of her and her child as well. So I couldn't take care of 4 kids.
So she wasn't there, but her child was there.
The last week, her or her child wasn't there. But all the weeks leading up to that, they were there constantly, all day, every day.
How was she there all day if she works?
She worked overnight, and it was barely, probably twice a week. We both worked overnight, and I was watching.
What kind of work?
I was working at Price Chopper overnight as a cashier.
And what were you doing?
I was at Speedway, the gas station.
And you were working a couple of nights a week.
No, I was working 4 nights a week.
And who was watching your children?
She was.
That come in with $100 or $200
No,
a
there
month
was,
you pay?
I would watch her kids while she worked, and she would watch mine while I worked.
Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Well, that seemed to work out pretty well for everybody. Okay, so now you hadn't been back in a week, according to her, and there were some nasty text messages. You were arrested, is that
Yes.
right? But you weren't arrested on her protective order. You were arrested on outstanding warrants.
Yes.
What were the outstanding warrants for?
It was a disorderly conduct in Albany from over 3 years ago.
Whatever it was, you had an outstanding warrant.
Yes.
And how long did they hold you on the outstanding warrant?
They transported me to court from Cohoes Court, and I was arraigned and released on my own recognizance.
So you were there for a day.
No, I think it was the weekend when I got arrested, and I wasn't able to see the judge until Monday. I spent 3 days in jail.
But the 3 days had nothing to do with her. The 3 days were because you hadn't appeared on, you say, a discount from years ago. You can't be arrested on a protective order. You're held on an outstanding warrant.
She pressed charges for harassment.
You understand what I'm